Welcome back. Very interesting thing which Canadian Pepper, I think it's on the 5th of January 2025. He was talking about when the lights go out for good and society collapses, who's going to be your enemies, who's going to be your predators. Well, people who consider your next door neighbours probably have a certain preparation, military speaking, gathering intelligence, and skills of that type will be your probably so-called marauders, which will study in times of desperation and crisis. They will steal everything which they will have. There won't be no rule of law, no emergency services, no cops, no military, just absolute total collapse. And whatever spaces these governments leave behind will be taken over by so-called big gangs. The strongest only to survive, basically. It doesn't mean in now times we should keep our guards well low down. We have to be just vigilant, blend into the background and go grey. And obviously preparing for any emergency event. One does not know of the type of event, but having sufficient stockage on food and water and medicine and other type of primary commodity necessities is a good idea. And a good idea is not to boast about it on social media or tell people who you don't trust. Only those people who will be a part of that circle of survivalness, the group, can join forces with them, your resources with them, exchange skills within that type of small communities, because it's a bit like we returning back in the medieval periods or the Dark Ages, when villages they were fortified due to the raids of Vikings and other type of predonis, as they say in Italian. And obviously the Surboy generations, people who depend too much on technology will just collapse. They will be probably be the first ones to perish, with a sick and elderly. This may be a cruel thing, but you need the resources to keep the fit to survive. It's a cruel law of nature. The only strongest survived in these situations. If something happens, 90% of the people won't be ready. Panic and chaos will cause more victims than the actual so-called event itself. Collapse of society, nuclear war, EPM or CME, and plus like I said, we rely too much on technology, and we haven't got the skills, manual skills, to repair things. Like if a mechanic, carpenter, who works with metals, forging metals and stuff like that. I think those skills will be needed. And probably even the so-called manual tools, spanners, screwdrivers and stuff like that. That will be your tools of survival as well. And even if in peacetime it's not that likely things will happen, but there are. If you have a property, there are strange characters wandering around in a mistaken a road, faces you haven't seen before. Do take down notes of the number plates of these vehicles, because these people are in reconnaissance and they're studying to do probably burglaries in houses and all stuff like that. And if you have a very determined deterrent to make them flee, I think they will think twice before you become a potential victim of these so-called raiders or whatever they are.